In episode 8 of 100 Goats, the 100 greatest people and events of all time you should know to be a culturally literate person, we'll cover Alexander the Great. So just what did Alexander do to earn the name the Great? There's William the Conqueror, Ivan the Terrible, Vlad the Impaler, and Charlemagne the God, but really only one other great, Russian ruler Catherine the Great, about 2,000 years later. So how did Alexander end up with the Great after his name? Well, for one thing, he never lost a single battle. Alexander's father was King Philip II of Macedon, and Alexander was tutored from 13 to 16 by the philosopher Aristotle. When his king father was assassinated in 336 BCE, Alexander was just 20. He ascended to the throne and got busy, very busy, starting with a clampdown on unrest in the city-states of Athens and Thebes, both parts of his newly inherited kingdom. But it was the way Alexander did it that established his style. In Thebes, those rabble-rousers wouldn't stop fighting Alexander's troops, so he crushed their uprising, razed much of the city, and took tight control. In Athens, after harsh battles in the streets, the outnumbered Athenians had demands and negotiated for peace. Alexander agreed to their terms and pardoned all the rebels in Athens. Nothing like a conqueror with the occasional pang of conscience. Many contend that was Aristotle's influence. But Alexander was not about to stop at Thebes and Athens. Right after that, he went on a 10-year conquest that started in the city of Gaza and stretched west into Egypt, north into the Balkans, southeastern Europe today, and east through what is now Turkey into Persia, Iran today, then into Mesopotamia, Iraq today, and all the way into parts of modern-day India, covering much of what was the entire known world at the time. The boy got around, and I say that because he did all this by 32, and died in the following year. Historians debate whether he was poisoned by an enemy or drank too much wine, which young Alex was quite inclined to do at times. He ultimately succumbed to a high fever in his recently conquered city of Babylon, which was to be the crown jewel of his vast new empire. But he did more than just conquer. Alexander founded over 20 cities in the territories he controlled, all named after himself, the most significant being the Alexandria in Egypt. He also settled colonists wherever he could, resulting in the wildly successful spread of Greek culture. But he also incorporated the local religious and cultural practices into the societies he now ruled. While he surely had a ferocious side, this diplomatic approach of accepting existing beliefs and customs basically worked for everyone involved. He instated a unified currency in his empire which facilitated commerce and trade, and Greek became the lingua franca of the entire region through the rise and fall of the Roman Empire for 1,700 years into the 15th century until the collapse of the Byzantine Empire. Indeed, his impact was felt far and wide for a long time. For better or worse, Alexander's military achievements and unprecedented enduring successes long after his death not only inspired leaders from the Caesars to Napoleon and Hitler, but they also made him the benchmark by which many later military leaders measured themselves, and his tactics remain a subject of study in military academies worldwide. As the saying goes, anything worth doing is worth doing well. So despite how nasty, brutish, and short his life was, Alexander is considered by most accounts the greatest conqueror of all time, and that's why he's got the Great after his name 2,300 years later. It's like the scene from Blade Runner where the scientist tells the replicant he's created, Roy, who's about to expire, the light that burns twice as bright burns half as long, and Alexander burned so very, very brightly. That's the skinny on Alexander the Great. Come back for the next episode of 100 Goats.